Hi, everybody.
Hello, I'm Ryan.
I'm Bethany.
And we are Ryan and Bethany Board Game Reviews.
And today we're going to be talking about Courtisans. This is designed by Romeric Galanier and Anthony Perrone, and it is published by Pandasaurus Games. But before we talk about that, we just want to remind you to subscribe so you can see our videos as they come out.
Smash that notification bell. Bam.
Bam. Okay, Courtisans.
In this game, you are trying to draft these cards from these influential families. But the thing is, you're trying to get some of these family members into your area, but the queen's favor of those families kind of waxes and wanes over the course of the game. So you want to try to draft them into your house when they're high. If they ever kind of flip on you, you want to get rid of them as fast as possible. Let me give you a quick overview of how to play. Alright, here's our setup for Courtisans. Here is our main center board. We're going to be playing some cards to that center board. If we play cards above it, that means that we are going to be trying to esteem that family. If we're playing the cards below that, that means that family we want to fall from grace. Alright, so we have 6 different colors of families. We have spots for spies there, and I'll get to that in a little bit. We also have a large deck of cards here. That's where we're going to be drawing all our cards from. We also have 2 decks of cards here. Those are our secret mission cards. At the beginning of the game, each player is going to get 1 card from each deck, and it's going to give you some extra storing parameters. All the cards from the blue deck are going to have to do with the esteemed or the fallen from grace families. This particular one says you're going to get 3 points at the end of the game if you can make sure that the red team, which is the Nightingales, are fallen from the grace at the end of the game. All of the white cards have to do with you yourself and something to do with some kind of parameters. This one says, worth 3 victory points, you yourself must own fewer hairs than your left neighbor. Yellow is the hair color, so you have to have fewer yellow cards than whoever's on your left. So that's how these cards work. Every player is going to get 1 of those at the beginning of the game. We're going to set those off to the side for now, and now let's go through a sample turn. Every turn you're going to draw 3 cards off the top of the deck. 1 of them needs to be placed in front of you, 1 of them needs to be placed at the court here in the middle cards, and 1 of them needs to be given to another player. This particular one, we all drew 3 of the same card, which is kind of nice. We have to make a lot of choices here. So 1 of them is going to go in front of us. 1 of them is going to go to the middle. Let's go ahead and make this esteemed. And this one is going to go to another neighbor. This one has a special ability on it, an assassin. So let's give that to them. It's going to kill 1 of their cards, and I'll explain what that means here in just a moment. Really quickly, let me go over what the scoring is going to look like at the end of the game. If there are more cards at the top of a section versus at the bottom of a section for a particular family, that family is esteemed. If there's more cards at the bottom, then that means that family has fallen from grace. At the end of the game, you're going to count up your own cards that match that particular color. And if you have the fallen from grace, each one of them is negative points. But if each one of them is esteemed, you're going to gain points. So in this case, what we did is we gave ourselves a white card, which means we want to make sure that at the end of the game is esteemed. So when we had to play a card at the center, we put it on the esteemed side. Some cards are just plain. This one in particular, this one has no special abilities. This is simply a card of the green family. Other cards like this one, though, they have a sword. This is a assassin card. Whenever you play the assassin card to an area, you get to kill 1 other card in that area. So, for instance, if you played it to yourself, you might get rid of a card that you don't like. Maybe it's potentially going to be worth negative points. Or, if you put it towards the middle, you're able to put a card there, or kill a card there, that's going to be in your favor. And if you give it to someone else, you might try to kill a card that's worth a lot of points to them. This particular card is called the Guard. That guard cannot be killed by an assassin. It's kind of a protected card. It's locked in wherever you place it. Then we have the Spy. The Spy is a really interesting character. Wherever you place the spy goes face down. You still put it, if you put it to the middle, you still put it on the top or bottom, but no one knows what it is. So you might do this. Put it on the lower half there if you want that kind of that green color to be fallen from grace at the end of the game. But no one knows which faction it is until the end of the game when you flip it over. The last card that has a special ability are these nobles. You see that crown symbol? That actually counts as 2 cards wherever you have it. If it counts for yourself, it counts as 2 cards. If you have it in the middle here, Queen's Court area, it counts as 2 cards, whether it's at the top or the bottom in that area. Let's go through another turn really quick here. We're going to draw 3 cards again. And again, one's going to go to ourselves, one's going to go to the middle, and one's going to go to another person. Let's say we really want to make sure that red is fallen from grace because we don't have any red cards, but other people do. We can put it down here. And remember, this is a guard card. This cannot be assassinated. It's kind of like a permanent block there. And of course, we have to give 1 to ourselves. These both are the same card. Let's give 1 to ourselves over here. And then we'll give our neighbor 1 of those cards. If we could have given a red card away, or one of these green cards that we know secretly is our spy that we put there, that would have been even better, but it's just kind of luck of the draw. And that's really all there is to the game. Each turn you're going to draw 3 cards, give 1 to yourself, put 1 in the middle, and give 1 to another player.
We're going to keep on playing until the deck has run out, and at that point, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to reveal all the spies. We're going to put them in their appropriate columns, and if anybody has any spies in front of them in their personal area, those are revealed as well. Then you're going to figure out which columns are fallen from grace and which columns are esteemed. And then you're going to score appropriately. For every card that you have that's esteemed, it's worth 1 point. For every card that you have that's fallen from grace, it's negative 1 point. And then, of course, you go back to your secret missions at the beginning of the game. You see if you've met those objectives or not. If you have, you give yourself those points. And if not, you do not get those points. You're going to add up all your points from those different ways, and whoever has the most points wins the game.
I like how at the beginning of the game everybody starts with like what I'm calling a positive and negative scoring condition. So everybody gets a family that they're trying to have marked in, what is it, disgrace? Out of favor. So everybody has a family that they're trying to do with, but it's all different. So you're trying to manipulate that. And then you have another scoring objective, which is different. It can be about the families, but it'd be more about your tableau. So one is interacting with the tableau of where the queen is. The other one is interacting with your personal tableau. And so you're trying to interact with that, and you're trying to manipulate things and get that to happen. And everybody has those same two, not same two objectives, but those same two ideas of trying to manipulate that tableau and their own. And so you're all interacting with that, all trying to do something different, and it's just like not necessarily chaotic, but it is moving all the time.
The turns are super, super simple. The rules are very, very clear. That's one of the things I love about this game. Basically, you're going to get 3 cards, and then you're going to place one in front of yourself, one to the queen's table, and one where the opponent is. That's all you're trying to do. You're trying to make it so that the cards that you have in front of you are the ones that are going to be scoring. You're trying to manipulate which ones score by placing one in front of the queen, either up or down, and then you're trying to give a card to an opponent that you think is going to be worth negative points at the end of the game. That's the whole game in a nutshell. You know,
Yeah.
I think that the turns are so super simple. This is a game that you can teach to anybody.
So, speaking of teaching to anybody, we did teach this to our 7-year-old. So we had a game with her, and it was so funny when we were playing this game because she kept adding cards to herself of a family that was like severely out of favor. And somehow, I still don't even know how this happened. Even though she played by all the rules, it wasn't like she cheated. Somehow she was able to manipulate that in the last turn to where it gave her a ton of points, and she ended up winning. So I just like how everything is really always shifting, and you always have a chance to come out and hit your objectives, or at least score. And she was able to manipulate that and totally, like, smash us. Well, she totally demolished me. She only beat Ryan by a little, but she like tripled my score, which was just bananas.
Yeah, we're getting worried about being able to play games with her.
Yes.
She's getting too good.
Yes.
too big for her britches. I think that the reason that you can do those kind of, I don't want to say swingy turns because it's not quite the right term.
Yeah.
That makes it sound like this game is like wild and crazy. Things can shift, but it's, one card at a time.
Yeah.
I think the reason that's so much fun and so interesting is because of these special ability cards. Some of the cards are just simply cards representing that family, but other ones are worth 2 points each. They're worth, one card is worth the strength of 2 cards. Or other times you have a situation where you have an assassin.
Yeah.
The assassin gets a chance to kill a card wherever you place it, which you can use offensively or defensively. If there's a card that in front of yourself that you think is going to give you negative points, you can kill it by giving yourself an assassin. Or if someone else has a really strong card that you think is going to give them a lot of points, you can give them the assassin and kill that card. And same thing with the board in the middle, the queen's table. You can send the assassin there and manipulate the board in that way. Then you have guards who are protected from the assassins, and then you have spies. The spies are played face down wherever they're played, so you don't even know what some of the cards might be. You could send someone else a spy, and they don't even know whether it's going to be positive or negative at the end of the game.
Yeah.
Or you can kind of covertly manipulate the queen's table with these spies as well. These special abilities are a lot of fun, and they kind of make the game, and they also allow for those fun interactive moments that cause some of those shifts in the table.
Overall, this was a really fun time. I really liked this game. I remember taking it out and I read the rule book and I thought to myself, I think I like this game, but I hadn't played it yet. And then we played it and I was like, I do like this game. So kudos for creating a rule book that let me know that I was already going to like it before we played it. And I kind of want like a small, I don't know, graphic novel. What's like a graphic novelette about all of these families as they're trying to manipulate things, because the artwork on it is really fun and they have such unique and interesting personalities just on the cover art. Like, and I want to dig into that a little bit more.
Well, then you have to write it.
Oh, absolutely not. And I can't do that.
No,
Gosh,
but you just
it's
do the words.
No. But I really liked it, and I don't know. It was just a good time trying to manipulate that. If you lose, it's not a big deal because it's not a super long game. So sometimes that's just going to happen. You're not going to be able to get what you need to get. But it's not like you've been working at something for an hour and a half and it still just didn't happen. You were just working at something for like 10 minutes. So it's totally fine.
I agree. I like this game so much. It was super fun. It's just that interactive card play that was very dynamic. Got everyone involved. Everyone's kind of shifting and moving the board around. Anybody can come up out on top, as we kind of mentioned with our daughter. It's just a matter of how you're able to control the board.
Yeah.
And every turn you get a new hand of cards, so you never know what's going to happen next. I think it's very clever, very fun. The only thing I was like, scrounging my brain of thinking something to think of like critically that I can say about this game. Not that I want to be negative or anything like that, but there is a really nice mat that comes with this game. The mat coming straight out of the box is really, really wrinkly. It doesn't lay flat at all. So we can solve that by putting some cell phones on the edges of it to kind of stretch it out a little bit. Or maybe you can put some heavy board games on top of it to kind of flatten it out and keep it flat, whatever the case is. Super minor nitpick, does not change the gameplay at all. I just wanted to mention that. But man, what a fun, clever game. Super quick and play with anybody.
Everybody, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe so you can see our videos as they come out.
Until next time, guys, we'll see you later.
Bye.
You guys, thanks so much for watching. This game was provided to us by a publisher in exchange for a fair and honest review.
And if you want to see more stuff, check out over here to see something we think you might like.
And over here, we think that YouTube has picked out a great video for you you're going to love. Thanks, guys. We'll see you next time.